Interesting question. And there I was sitting down and I was pondering the democracy we were practicing, watching painfully as all the parties apart from the ruling party was becoming dangerously destabilized. And just asking myself, why don't we just interrogate this whole process all over again? Especially since we're thereabout in the 26th year of multi-party democracy. So I started looking at the numbers more seriously. I realized that our people were not turning up as they should. I mean, you have like 96 million registered PVC collected, and total amount of people who come out to vote 20 something million. The last election, the winner got 8.9, next 6.9, next 6.1, and the others just trailed away. And I kept asking myself, where were they on election day? Then I also took a look at it and saw that, okay, almost all the money, almost all the votes, beg your pardon, was paid for. Either those that were paid for by the ruling party or the arrivals of the labor. And it occurred to me that we need to go and figure out how to fix it. Then I looked at the narrative, the very combative, take no prisoner media, both online and offline. And I kept saying to myself, why do the Nigerians seem to hate their leaders so much? Then I look at the concept of what they call democratic dividends, what the people expect to get. And I felt that there was a miscommunication as to what has happened by way of infrastructure, laws, opening up, some gains. And then I looked at what the people's expectations were, and I saw that they weren't being met. And they started saying to me, okay, why don't we just go back and reinterrogate this whole process? And then I thought, okay, what do we even call it? And then I came up with the name, The Alternative. And it just fitted perfectly. Let's find an alternative way of communicating about our country and its leadership and democracy, because leaders all around us, the geopolitics of our region and that of the world was becoming more nationalistic. So why would the Nigerians make it a point of duty to keep shaming their country, shaming themselves, and shaming their leader in a globally competitive world? Then I said, okay, are we going to be a nation that is pinned together by, you know, cobwebs instead of a country that is wedged together as one nation? Are we going to be talking about tribe all the time? Would it always be your tribe man is in charge and so okay, and then the other people have to start saying things, doing things that can begin to offend people? And then I said to myself, there must be something we can do. So I came up with the idea, called up some of my friends and said, gentlemen, let's go around the country now. Let's go and engage the Nigerian people. Let's ask them, what do we need to do to make them come out on election day more? What do we need to do to get them to understand that the worst thing that can happen to the poor is selling their franchise on the day of the election? Because, hey, life has already dealt them a very hard card. And election day is one day when they are kings and queens and royalty to decide the future. Why are they even selling it? Then what do we need to do? If they don't like their leaders, can't we just go to them and tell them, bring us the type of leaders you want from your areas? No, those kinds of ideas. And the more I reflected on it, the more I said to myself, okay, launch out at it, go and figure out to create a pan-Nigeria opposition movement that is not, not tied only to one party. Why can't we even have the dialogue across the parties? Why should we even look at the people that are in the APC and just assume that they are all satisfied? Are there people there that also are feeling that more can happen here? So those are the kinds of ideas that battered the alternative. And I've been lucky. We've been able to go around all the zones. We've gone to the northeast, the northwest, the north central, the south south, and the southeast, but the southwest, which I thought we can always do at any time, since in any case, the southwestern man is in charge. That's what we've been doing. And we've been trying to get people to say, guys, you need to start figuring out that no one is going to fix this country unless we do it by ourselves. And luckily, we came out with a cliche. It's just a cliche, but we hope everybody can buy into it, which is let the best of us lead the rest of us. So that's what the alternative is about. Thank you for asking.
So, is this a whole new political party?
It's a whole new engagement platform.
What is an engagement platform if it is not a vehicle that can bring people into office? So, is the alternative a political party or just a movement?
Like I was trying to explain to you, when you are reinterrogating the people on a journey they've been on for more than a quarter of a century, with a lot of them having a lot of, I'm not sure, should we stay? This is not my business, I'm not interested, they can do their thing. And the integrity of the process is significantly queried. You can't start by saying you want to bring a new party because you have 18 of them already. One of them could have been enough for the people. And you can't start by saying you want to be the candidate. You have to let the people really let them soak in what is before us as a people. And then as you go along, you're going to be able to see, okay, what are they saying? What are we hearing? And everywhere we've gone, we've administered questionnaires, we've done town hall meetings, we've had citizens engagement, we've met with leaders of thoughts in those areas just to get a proper gauge of a, drill down, putting your ears close to the ground to hear the grass sprout, and then some impression is now being created. And that, impression is that I think the Nigerians are at a point where if we don't do something fast, they will continue to lose faith in the democracy. The last credible poll suggests that 75% of electable people and the electorate will not even participate in the next election. That should worry us. And it seems to be like if we're not even careful, the parties they will mismanage themselves so much that they wouldn't give the people much to choose from. And then you also kind of like hear that, shall the people that created the problem be deceiving themselves that they are the ones to be now chosen? Because you kind of get the impression that new people are not courageous enough to say, we've had enough of the old guys. Now let's be the one. So those are the things we're seeing. At some point in time, we'll take a decision anyway, because luckily, we have the ability to say, okay, everything we're hearing, this is what we're feeling. And then we can either signpost who we think the Nigerians may be willing to take a risk on, or we just probably just say, okay, we'll start a new party and let's just bring the new people and then just go and show them to the citizens. And if the citizens are not brave enough to take a decision that is good for them, then we'll probably have to accept that we're going to be stuck in a generational flux. With generational flux in the sense that they won't be able to do much, and it will just indicate that this generation have not been properly prepared for life. For the generation before them, say what you will about them, at least they got us democracy. The generation before those ones got us independence. The generation before those ones got us out of colonialism. And what would this generation, your generation, my generation, and the younger generation, what do we consider to be our role and responsibility in a democracy? So I always say to them, be the alternative. The alternative is the only way forward now. And let every man start and woman start thinking about how to be a better version of themselves. And then collectively, we can then be a swelling movement that will get us the kind of country we want. The solutions are here. We just need to figure out a way to make sure that the best set of people who are passionate, who are nationalistic, who are driven by the right values, who have empathy for the poor, will lead the country. So help us God.
Did losing the election last time push you this hard?
I don't know whether, thank you for that question actually. I have reviewed all the parties and all the candidates and all the participants in the last election. I think bar one of them who speaks a different type of language of development, and that is Adebayo Adewale, the SDP man. Almost all the others are basically scratching the surface and speaking from the same playbook, albeit, I must confess, their personal attitude and experiences and what they have also gone through and how they prepare themselves may have indicated a better way or a different way that they would have done if they played. But hey, that's like six and a half a dozen. There's not much to choose from. The conversations they had were basically the same. The ideas they wanted to push was basically the same. And then one of them has become the president. So as far as I'm concerned, there isn't much to be upset about. You may rue the fact that you are not part of those who are playing active role in government. But hey, anybody who understands nation building will know that you spend a long time getting prepared for the responsibility of the future. Because you know what? Every generation has one event that impacts them so much and defines their world look, their national look, and how they do things. The last generation of the military officers, it was a civil war. These Democrats, the articles of this world, the Bola Tinubus of this world and co, it was June 12th. Something else has to be the reason why we move forward to be a better version for the country. So the last election didn't mean anything to me. I knew PDP was going to come short. I did a couple of interviews. You remember I had an interview with you when I said I was very concerned at the way they were approaching the election and that you can't teach an old fox new tricks. Even if you scream your bellows out, they are not going to be brave enough to let those that are more driven about how to get it done lead. And so what they will do whatever they can and they will get whatever result they can get. Sometimes they rely on luck. As much as I like luck and like God, I like us to always rely on good old science, good old intentionality, the best possible institution to drive democracy so that the outcome becomes more enjoyable. Can you imagine if you had like a night of 1,000 stars and everybody on that day was giving the best version of themselves about democracy, about our country, and the difference they're going to make? Then we'll be inspiring the next generation. So for me, the last election is neither here nor there. I think the president was meant to win one.